Good evening. I want to welcome everybody to our special Wednesday night Erev Shavuos edition of our Nesivos Shalom Shir. A couple of things before we start the shir, being that tonight's a very special night. First of all, I would like to welcome the founder of our shir, Yosef Motorpearl, is in the house tonight. Somehow he worked it out and he's able to be here. And of course, we have a tremendous amount of Akaras HaToiv of almost 700 straight weeks of Shiurim. And it was a week number one that was started by Yosef Motorpearl. In addition to that, there's a very, very amazing spread here tonight. I don't know if we could call it Toyameh, it's not Erev Shabbos, but still Erev Yontif, L'Kovid Yontif and Shabbos for the second day of Yontif. This year, even in Eretz Yisrael, they have 2 days of Yontif and Shabbos together. Very traumatic experience for the people in Eretz Yisrael to actually keep 2 days in a row. But yes, everyone has 2 days this year. So we have a very, very special feast here tonight, ordered from a very special place. We want to thank Reb Uri Tesser, Reb Shimi Kapp, for making sure that the Olam always has top-notch Toyameh and a full course, few course dinner. And tonight was taken care of by those two very special individuals. In addition to that, we have Rabbi Gelbwax in the house tonight. Lots and lots of good stuff. But if we keep talking about everybody here, we're not going to have time for the shir. So just a short shir, a couple of thoughts from the Nesivos Shalom on Chag Shavuos. And before I even say something about Chag Shavuos, when I took out my Nesivos Shalom and I was looking through the Sefer, the special Sefer, Chelik Beis, which is not part of the Chumashim, Chelik Beis has all the Yom Tovim in here. I noticed something very interesting. This Chelik talks about Shabbos and the Yom Tovim, and I couldn't believe it when I kept turning and I realized we're in the last Yom Tov of the year. And after this, we turn right back and we're at Rosh Hashanah. Just want to mention that in case anybody wanted something to think about over Shavuos, that we have a chance for Kabbalas HaTorah, the Torah which illuminates and leads the way for every part of our lives, that right around the corner, before you turn around, the next Yom Tov is Rosh Hashanah. And what a way to just add a little power, or add something good to the last few months of the year, to have a real Kabbalas HaTorah. And tonight, actually, for those of us, not everybody here Daven Meyer, so maybe don't say it out loud, but we already counted the 49th day. I already counted also. And Baruch Hashem, we were Zoicha to be Mekayim, the mitzvah of Sfiras HaOmer, the Raisa, the Rabbanon. We're not going to get into that right now, but we were Mekayim, the mitzvah. And the Torah tells us about the days between Pesach and Shavuos, that we should count the days. Usfartem lochami macharas haShabbos, and then we said, as we spoke about in weeks past, Sheva Shabbosos mimois tiyena ad mimacharas haShabbos haShvius. What should you count? Tisperu chamishim yom. Torah says you count 50 days. And the Nesivos Shalom speaks about, I just mentioned to you that we counted the last night of Sfiras HaOmer tonight. And what number did you count? I don't know anyone who counted 50. Every one of us counted, or we're going to count tonight, the 49th day of the Omer, and that's the last day. So the Nesivos Shalom wants to talk a little bit about the fact that the Torah says 50 days, and when in fact we only count 49 days. The mitzvah is to count Sfiras HaOmer 49. Why does the Torah bring up this number of 50? In a similar case, the Nesivos Shalom brings down the Noam Elimelech. The Rebbe Melech says about Kedusha Sefer Torah. We know that every letter in a Sefer Torah has tremendous amount of Kedusha. However, Zok the Noam Elimelech, that the white part of the Sefer Torah, the blank part, the gevil, the parchment that is around the letters, has even more Kedusha than the letters themselves. How's that possible? Says the normally Melech, because if you think about it, each letter has just the kedusha of that letter, right? You have a letter Beis, you have a letter Aleph, whatever letter you have, so then each letter has the kedusha of that letter. But the white part of the Sefer Torah, the blank parchment, each part of the blank parchment has all the letters of the Sefer Torah on it. So being that the blank part has all the letters, it has more kedusha than each individual letter that is written in the Sefer Torah. And the words of a Sefer Torah, each word is written on blank parchment, so it has more kedusha. Says the Nesivos Shalom, just like this thought from the Noam Elimelech, each day of Sfiras HaOmer has kedusha. We count up each day of the Sfiras HaOmer, more kedusha as we get closer to Shavuos. But the 50th day, the day of Kabbalas HaTorah, the day of Shavuos, it works the same way as the blank parchment on the Sefer Torah. When we come to Shavuos, we have all the days of the Sfiras HaOmer. It has the kedusha of all the days together, which is more than the kedusha of each individual day, much like the Sefer Torah works. Even though we technically say that Sfiras HaOmer, we say Tisperu, right, until Chamishim Yoim, and we say Ad V'lo Ad B'chlal, we don't count the 50th day, but the Kalvana Elyoina says in the Nesivos Shalom is to include the 50th day, not that we count the 50th day, but on the 50th day we understand that we have the Kedusha of all the days of Sfiras HaOmer together. The Nesivos Shalom brings from the Beis Avram, Zechusa Yogan Aleinu, and he tells us, B'Shem Tzadikim, that just as on Shabbos, we know that Seudah Shlishis, Shalshudis, whatever you want to call it, Seudah Shlishit, whatever your way of calling it, is on Shabbos. We know it has the most Kedusha, the holiest time of Shabbos, the Rava, the Ravin. That's where we build up to the Shalshudis on Shabbos. So too, says in the Nesivos Shalom that Chag Shavuos is the Rava, the Ravin of the Yemei HaSfira, the culmination, all the Kedusha put together, the pinnacle of Kedusha, what we've been building up for the last 7 weeks, each step of the way. Chag Shavuos is the Rava, the Ravin of the Yemei HaSfira. It's the culmination and the holiest time of the Sfira, the real tachlis of why we were counting the Sfira. And the Nesivos Shalom says, and this is kedai for everyone to know, Nesivos Shalom says that because of that, Shavuos is, and listen to these words of the Nesivos Shalom, Shavuos is an eis rotzoin gadol ma'od. That if a person wants to daven for something, if a person wants to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for something, because Shavuos is the culmination of all the Kedusha, the Rav and the Ravin, of all the Yemei HaSfira, that Chag Shavuos is an eis rotzoin gadol ma'od. We know it's the Yom Chasunasai, the day where, so to speak, Kaviyachol, Klal Yisrael, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu are wed on that day with Kabbalas HaTorah. All the days of the Sfira lead up to this Yom Chasunasai, lead up to this auspicious time. The Avodas Yisrael, the Koshnitzer, Zechusa Yogan Aleinu, in Inyonei Pesach, he says a very, very beautiful thing. The Torah tells us, Ad b'mocharas hashabos hashviis tisperu chamishim yoim. Until Mimochas HaShabbos HaShvius, which is when it comes up to Shavuos, Tisperu Chamishim Yoim. We count 50 days, or to the 50 days. Zok, the Koshen Tzamagid, a beautiful thing. We could learn from this pasuk, we could take a lesson that it's never ever too late. And listen to this beautiful thought. Ad Mimochas HaShabbos HaShvius, all the way up until that 50th day, all the way up until Shavuos, if you were asleep at the wheel for the last 49 days, and you weren't growing, and you weren't doing more avodas Hashem, and you weren't learning enough, and you weren't good enough bein adam l'chavera, you weren't being misakim what you had to, ad b'machas Shabbos Shvius, even if you're already at Shavuos, still tisperu chamishim yoim. You could count all 50 days. If you take advantage of the day of Shavuos, you can make up for all that time and all that last time and accomplish what you need to do, tisperu chamishim yoim, even when it comes to the day of Shavuos. You can count all the days on the last day too. You can make it count on Chag Shavuos. And with what we're saying, that the 50th day is part of the Sphira, as the Torah mentions it, with what we mentioned at the beginning of this year, you can do all of this on the Yom Chamishim. You can do all of this on the Yontif of Shavuos. You can make the decision right now, tonight, when we're here on Erev Shavuos, you can make the decision that you wanted to count, even if you missed the whole count. Even if, and life goes that way. It's not easy always to grasp the moment. It's not always easy to grow every day. It's not easy. We're so distracted by everything going on around us. It's so hard to focus on the best of days. Try to focus for 49 days straight. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. But one who is ready to be makabel the Torah, if you're ready right now, Zok to Nesivos Shalom, it's never too late. Even the Nesivos Shalom says, even if it's near the end of Yom Tov, we were saying maybe tomorrow night, even more than that. If it comes near the end of Yom Tov, the main point is how you end the Yom Tov. What do you makabel on yourself? How do you come out on the other side of Yom Tov? What do you do? What are you going to do to make yourself a different person and take the Shavuos with you when the Yom Tov is over? And when a Yom Tov is over, and Nesivos Shalom talks about this so much, by every Yom Tov, by Rosh Hashanah, by Yom Kippur, Sukkot, by Pesach, Shavuos, Nesivos Shalom says the same thing over and over, that there has to be a mark left on you. The Yom Tov has to do something to you. It has to make you stop for a second, not just the fact that you shut off all your technology and paraphernalia for 2 days and you don't know what to do with yourself. Sometimes even on Yom Tov, you feel your phone vibrating on you, middle of davening, you're not even wearing, big chum over here, maybe most people are wearing the telephones on Yom Tov. But most of the people that you understand that it's not just the lack of the Rash Gadol that's going on around us all the time. Is that we have to internalize and stop and think, what is our goal in life? What are we as people? What we are people who want to live by the Torah, people who are directed by the Torah, people who follow the halachas of the Torah. And there's no better Yom Tov than the Chag Shavuos to internalize that lesson. And if we do that, and if we concentrate on that, and we become different people over Yom Tov, then we know we could go through the rest of the year and we say, V'hasiyenu Hashem Elokeinu es birkas mayadecha, that the Rebbeinu Shalom should give us, that carry us through the rest of the year, the birkas mayadecha, the special brachos that are given to us every single Yom Tov, especially if we're conscious and we know that it's a Yom Tov and we want to grow. Hashem should give us the opportunity to get these brachas, to carry them with us, and everybody here should have a Chag Sameach, a happy and healthy Yom Tov, and we should all be zoicha to an emes of Kabbalah Satorah.